argument against him already.
I'm glad you, can you hear me? Yeah. No, I'm glad you raised that because that's very real. There are a number of highly misguided right-wing white brothers and sisters who are engaged in assault and attack and could even attempt to kill him. So we have to protect our brother. There's no doubt about that. And we have to keep track of those forces that will lie, degrade in the same way that we concern with anybody. He is our brother. He needs to be protected. He needs to be respected. But love also leads us to say he needs to be corrected. Corrected when he sides with the strong against the weak. And that's why this gathering is not just significant, but I think the world can see the truth-telling that has taken place around this table already. With tears flowing in our eyes precisely because we know the level of suffering that's taking place this very moment. I want to just say a quick word, though, about what my dear brother, Minister Louis Farrakhan, was talking about in terms of the forces around Brother Barack Obama. People might recall 3 years ago in Jamestown, we told folk, anybody who makes it to the Oval Office is going to in some way be predicated on various interests that historically have been indifferent to black people, poor people, and working people. It is not just white brothers and sisters in the abstract. We're talking about corporate interests. We're talking about Wall Street oligarchs. We're talking about those at the top that have been making billions and billions and billions of dollars when 21% of all America's children live in poverty and 38% of black children live in poverty. This is not just black versus white. We're talking about corporate elites at the highest level. But when you look at the folk around Brother Barack Obama, Tim Geithner, Larry Summers, Goolsbee, all of them come out of the Wall Street context. So already it was clear that they have no history of being concerned with poor and working people. Where were the progressive voices, trade union voices, black voices, brown voices, red voices who got him in? Now he can say, well, Brother West, I needed to reassure the establishment, and therefore I had to bring in the folk who helped create the crisis and the mess in the first place. I say, my brother, I love you. It's plausible, but it's not persuasive. It's not persuasive. Same is true on the international scene. America is an empire in relative decline because of corporate greed, because of military overstretch, war in Afghanistan, war in Iraq, drones in Pakistan, and still siding with right-wing forces in Latin America. It's in the culture's in relative decay because if we can put the greed and the lust and keep people so obsessed with their immediate pleasure, you can pacify them, keep them fearful, and never stand up for justice. You can't have a movement for freedom if everybody's obsessed with lust for pleasure. That's why the younger generation is hungry for more than the lust, but all they are getting every day is orgiastic free play, obsession with stimulation, titillation, unconcerned with broader struggles for freedom. That's why our attempt here is really an act of ancestor appreciation. We are here because of Marcus Garvey and Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X and those persons who love black folk enough so in that particular tradition wanted to tell the truth. We're here because of Frederick Douglass and Ida B. Wells Barnett and Martin King. And you know what? We're here because of nameless, anonymous grandmothers and grandfathers who loved us enough because we are who we are because people loved us. And we're going to love folk from the bottom and spill over even when there's corporate forces around our dear brother that tilts him toward investment bankers. If Jamal and Letitia can be treated with the privilege that investment bankers on Wall Street are, we could be breakdancing right now. We wouldn't have to have done.
Reverend Jackson, let me ask you a question. You can answer any way you want.